transcendentalist movement in Massachusetts, the Bronson Alcott and Louisa and Emerson and Thoreau, all the people who surrounded Louisa while she was growing up and writing this book, really were huge political people. They were really interested in environmentalism, in feminism, in the abolitionist movement, and which are all super relevant topics today. And our country is in a really difficult and challenging moment, and I really hope that they can take a note out of Louisa's book and focus on love and generosity and caring for each other and for the world.
You're playing a young woman from the 19th century.
Yes, I am.
So how did you connect with her? Did you have to fly that far back to connect with her, or did you feel that she was someone that you were quite well acquainted with?
She's a very vital character. She's very willful and brave, and she puts her foot in her mouth, and she has complicated relationship to her femininity and to sex and to her mother, and so those are all very contemporary issues. So I really connected to her, and I love playing her, and it wasn't too far-reaching. I mean, I had to think about my posture a little bit more, but other than that, she hits pretty close to home for me.
So in terms of a debut role then,
yeah.
Quite good.
What? Quite good?
Quite good. Oh,
huge honor. Very exciting. Dream come true.
and what was your sort of knowledge of the novel beforehand? Was it something you'd cherished and loved?
It was totally a beloved novel for me, and a beloved time period, actually. I've been really interested in the transcendentalist movement and Bronson Alcott and for a long time. So I love the novel, I love the time period, I am very interested in that group of people, so yeah.
When you adapted Little Women, was there something you wanted to tinker with a little bit in the way the characters spoke to one another? Because the adaptation has this kind of sprightliness to it, and it really twinkles.
It's really interesting. Louisa May Alcott's use of language in the original novel was at the time very modern, very sparky, very naturalistic. And I wanted to convey that to a modern audience, but I did have to tweak it a little bit because slang that was absolutely a la mode and on point in 1868 now sounds a bit dated. So I had to kind of tweak it and massage it a little bit, but I wanted to keep that sprightly, effervescent quality.
And what did you make of the cast that were gathered for this? Because not only do you have some fine young actors making their debut, you have some absolute elder statespeople of the industry.
I like nothing more than to mix the real national and indeed international treasures of the acting industry with people who've never worked before. I think it's fantastic for all the actors involved, and I think it was so appropriate for Little Women because it is a novel that's about interaction between generations. It's not just about the relationship between the four sisters.
How will audiences at home possibly be able to put themselves in the mind of the family, given that, it's in the 19th century and it's a country driven apart by almost a 50-50 split, and maybe politics
Yeah, I mean, it has so much that is really, really relevant, I think. I mean, it opens with a family giving away their Christmas dinner, basically, well, it's Christmas breakfast, to refugees on Christmas morning. That's the first thing they do. They get up on Christmas morning and they go and give all the food away. I don't know how that would go over in your house, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it would go in mine.
Would there be bedlam?
Yeah, there might. Well, I don't know. No, they'd be good about it. But it's that these girls are being raised to be really, really good, thoughtful people. Very focused on their humanity and what it means to be a kind person. Values that are in scarce supply today.